talk about some very dark things in this video and show you some similarities between what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania at President Trump's rally, where he just barely survived a bullet to the head. Some members of the MAGA movement didn't survive. And Charlie Kirk's killing, a political assassination by every letter and measure in Utah just a few days ago. We know who the Charlie Kirk killer is, and we also know who the Butler assassin was. He's dead, and he's not. This is Tyler Robinson, and this is Thomas Matthew Crooks. There are eerie and chilling similarities between these two shootings, and we must discuss them because it can't happen again. It can't. It must not. But something is clearly connecting these two. And something's being kept from us. And I am angry about it. The feds are not giving us the full picture. We know virtually nothing about Matthew Thomas Crooks. We know very, very little about Tyler Robinson. Seemingly, both of these young men, both of them 22 years old, had zero digital footprint. No text messages, no group chats, no ability for us to see who they were talking with or what they were saying. The feds have not released anything. Yet the feds have told us that they've been radicalized on Discord servers, both of them. Yet refused to say that there was somebody else involved, even though at today's press conference, the governor of Utah says, yes, inside of a Discord server, Tyler Robinson was working with other Antifa accessories to this murder to try and hide weapons, get ammunition, and so on. Political iconography carved into the bullet casings themselves were Antifa messaging, furry messaging, it's LGBTQ, and communist songs from days gone by that trend on TikTok. So you can see what the political affiliation is, the radicalization that has become, but I don't think that we're getting the full story here, and we must talk about it. What are the odds that both of these assassins have zero digital footprint in the year 2025? Come on. The best that we know about Thomas Matthew Crooks comes from this New York Times article, of all places, The Quiet Unraveling of a Man Who Almost Killed Trump. He's a nerdy engineering student. Well, what do we know about Tyler Robinson? We know that he was, at the very least, interested in engineering. We don't have exact confirmation yet whether he was an engineering student, but here he is posing on his mother's Facebook page with paperwork in hand at the Richard and Munyan Anderson Engineering Building here at Utah State University, where he went to school. He's wearing a mask. This is allegedly where he was radicalized. Thomas Crooks was also an engineering student. Both of them extremely intelligent. Thomas Crooks had a very high IQ, tested almost off the charts for his SAT and ACT. 4.0 student was Tyler Robinson. He received a scholarship, in fact.
Congratulations. You have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000. This scholarship is available for 4 years or 8 semesters.
Very smart kid receiving a scholarship, standing here making a video talking about his education.
My name is Thomas Crooks, and it has always been my passion to create and build things of my own. Today, I want to tell you a little bit about myself and my academic goals, my passion for building things, my love of cooking with my family, and lastly, what I hope to achieve in this course.
Strange similarities continue with the dark but speedy unraveling of both men. Thomas Crooks was acting strangely. Sometimes he danced around his bedroom late at night. Other times he talked to himself with his hands waving around. These unusual behaviors intensified last summer as he graduated with high honors from a community college. He also visited a shooting range, grew out his hair, and searched for online major depressive disorder and depression crisis. His father noticed this shift. Mental health problems ran in the family. Goes on to say, a New York Times examination of the last years of the young man's life found that his transformation was largely hidden. The meek engineering student, critical of political polarization, to a focused killer who tried to build bombs. For months, he operated in secret using aliases and encrypted networks, all while showing hints of mental illness that caused his mind to unravel to an extent not previously reported. This account offers the fullest picture of Crooks's life. He kept searching for handmade bombs, buying firearms, and began to stockpile explosive materials. The same could be said in its own way, based on the firsthand family knowledge that we know now about Tyler Robinson, who was a bright young man, excellent school records, and then began to spiral, according to his family, became a far leftist extremist, and started to mumble to himself at the dinner table about how much he hated Charlie Kirk. A slow but sure unraveling of Tyler Robinson. Here's what the Utah governor had to say about this.
Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger.
Both of these men also donated to Joe Biden, or at least to Democrats, in the 2020 election year. You can see that here on President Joe Biden Jr.'s inauguration day. Mr. Crooks, this is the Trump assassin, donated $15 to a committee backing Democrats in Act Blue, even though he was a registered Republican. Well, the family of Tyler Robinson is a registered Republican, but here's the proof that he also donated via Act Blue in the year 2020, $30. We don't know exactly who, but we know that it is a Democrat because those are the only people that use Act Blue. Here is a photo of him with Donald Trump as his Halloween costume. We're not sure exactly what that says. We don't know. He was associated with an Antifa Discord group. And by the way, so was Thomas Crooks. Preliminary evidence indicates that the suspect shared messages on a Discord related to the murder. After Butler, Pennsylvania attempts on President Donald Trump's life, investigators found that Crooks was also on a Discord account. Online platforms, including Discord, are being exploited by extremists to recruit and radicalize. I urge the FBI to investigate now. This is why I say we're not getting the full picture, because we've never seen Matthew Crooks's messages. Will we ever see the messages of Charlie Kirk's killer on Discord? The authorities say that he was using Discord and coordinating on Discord with accessories to this murder.
Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits.
I am showing you all of the open source documents. You are free to go and do your own investigation. There are also some differences between these two shootings and these two murders. Some of the major differences is that it took days and actually his own family to turn him in for Tyler Robinson to finally be apprehended by authorities. Thomas Matthew Crooks, on the other hand, was a lumbering and stupid and sloppy shot. Matthew Crooks can be seen in multiple security videos, lunking around, bumping into police officers, using a rangefinder, making himself a scene, quite frankly. Everyone was able to see that Matthew Thomas Crooks was on the roof. There are plenty of videos like this that show people saying, why is a man on the roof with a rifle? It will be one of the world's greatest mysteries to figure out why Secret Service and authorities didn't act faster here to take out this threat, because this threat was obvious. Meanwhile, far more stealth in relation to what happened with Charlie Kirk. As far as we know, nobody spotted or cited the shooter. Meanwhile, here, I mean, again, there are multiple videos like this where you can see Crooks laying in a prone position, wandering above, lunking through, wandering about, getting flagged and marked by police and Secret Service. It was a sloppy job, and there was no escape plan. Meanwhile, there was clearly a sophisticated escape plan in Utah. So they're not one-to-one similarities. The rifle, the gauge, the kill weapon is different as well, but there are some similarities that are striking enough for us to ask questions. The best way for us to be fully aware of what this threat is and who's radicalizing young men in this country to commit crimes, young left-wing men to commit crimes, horrible, violent crimes, is to release everything. Who were they talking to on Discord? What groups were they in? Arrest everybody in those groups. Bring them in for questioning. Who are they working with? Again, this is Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. They were both in these chats, and we've not seen any messages from these chats. We've not seen any evidence of what data was on their phone, what data was on their computer. What evidence do we have at all of their digital footprint? Well, they're both ghosts, according to what we know right now. You can see here.
Okay, so I've heard some confusion about exactly what path the shooter took, and I live just a few blocks away from UVU, and a lot of my neighbors have been talking with the FBI, who've been scouring the area, and this is kind of the pathway that the shooter took. So just to orient you, this right here, that's where Charlie was when he first when he was murdered. And if you kind of come out here, this is the Low C Center. So somewhere up on this roof is where the shooter was. Now, what we understand is that they believe that somehow he came somewhere down off the building, down through the building, however he came, and he went along this path just right next to the LDS Institute building. And then he kind of came up through these trees. That's the kind of the wooded area that they've been talking about. Kind of made his way back behind these homes, and then started up through this street 800 West here. And then he continued on 800 West past these church buildings. And this is the part I don't know if most people know this. This area right here is where supposedly they found somewhere in there the rifle. And as I understand it, that's where the path kind of stops. I think the trail runs cold, and I don't think they know where he went from there, which is super unfortunate. We do have video of him arriving at the event and sort of coming down this direction right here. And that's how he came in, supposedly. But just to give you a better idea as well, here's the freeway. This is I-15. I mean, if he can get to a car over here somewhere, maybe over here, I don't know, who knows? It's a really quick drive to get over to the freeway. You can jump over on 800 West, and then you can come over here to Center Street, and then boom, you've got a straight path to the freeway. You could be anywhere in like less than 5 minutes. So yeah, it's frustrating. I don't know if they're going to be able to track any further based on what's happening here locally. Hopefully they can pick up some other clues and find this guy.
So we're trying to be fair here. What we want, most importantly, is a full-scale investigation into who radicalized both these young men, the release of all the data, and so this can't happen again. Then the prosecution, the vicious prosecution of the dark left-wing money groups, organizations, Antifa and otherwise, who have been radicalizing these young men. There are enough similarities for us to note it. It's Benny. We'll be here with the updates. Never again. See ya.